Well, I put the umbrella up and then the sun disappeared. Fortunately, the sun comes streaming through the blockage of the umbrella and still allows the plants to try to recover from being smashed by the rain. It's amazing, what a summer rain can do. And I was blessed. I enjoyed the rain. Although, I have to admit, if you get old, you get these arthritis aches and pains. And then you know what you do? You run to your devotionals. You go, oh, Lord, ouch, owie, I ache. Or do you run to the Excedrin? Being an Excedrin advocate here, I'm no health fanatic that says, oh, well, God can't use, medication. I'm one that says, hey, God can use anything he wants to use. If I stick my arm in the sun and let it warm up, it would probably feel great. So, whatsoever that God has given you, whether it be perfect health, whether it be crummy health, whether it be one time flat on your back, like I had been in a hospital, and now healthy as an ox, or an old ox, then in those times that God gives you to rejoice in, be content with whatsoever state you find yourself in, because it will change. Guaranteed. It will turn from sunny to dark, from dark to sunny. We call that day. The same is true in your life. Don't expect everything to just go smoothly sailing and that you're living the life of victory, because I'm sorry to say, but the life of victory is simply Jesus died for you. That's all it is. Jesus died for you. That means he's taking care of you through and through all the way to the end. The rest, don't worry about it. People that have things lots of times get carried away with things. People that don't have things find themselves more dependent upon God for everything. So the reality is whatsoever state you find yourself therein, be content. Because God will bring you to the same place that the person who has things will wind up, and the same place that the person who doesn't have things will wind up. And that is face to face with Jesus with nothing but salvation. And if they don't have that, then they will suffer condemnation. And that condemnation will be that they rejected the only begotten Son of God, or they had an opportunity here in this life to accept the salvation God so freely gave. To me, that would be the most tragic experience out of this life, to not know Jesus. How sad it would be to discover that at the end of your life. Are you patient? You're not? Oh. Wear the right armor, and all this assembly shall know that the Lord saves not with sword and spear, for the battle is the Lord's. 1 Samuel 17:47. When David went out to face Goliath, everyone around him said, David, you can't do this. But God put a sense of knowing within David that he would succeed in the name of the Lord. David knew. However it happened, he would win. When King Saul decided to let David fight, he gave David his armor. But David said, yeah, I cannot, because I'm not used to this. See 1 Samuel 17:31-39. David knew he was to go in the name of the Lord with only his slingshot. See verses 40-50. If you have battles to face in life, don't let others tell you how to fight those battles. God will personally direct you in the way you should go. His word is your weapon. His will is your way to fight. His direction is your battle plan. That is why it is a vital necessity to arm yourself with knowledge and to spend time in God's presence before you have to face any giants. The The reason why we share devotionals together is because you remind me that I need to do this. I need to read these. I need to be filled with God's Word that I might be able to abide in His presence all day long. Because in my life, I need it. I have been disabled and now I'm enabled. And when I was disabled, I was in the Word, and eventually when I became enabled, I was at times out of His Word. And I would rather be in the Word with Jesus than to be out of the Word without God. And when you find yourself in a blessed position where you go, oh, wow, isn't this cool? Everything's falling apart and I have peace. Unbelievable. Then you know that there is a truth to the reality of maintaining a personal relationship with God. Because when you've gone through those experiences of being in the heights and falling to the depths, when you've gone to the left and you've gone to the right, when you have found yourselves in those places where you've been compressed and pulled and stretched without measure and extending yourself in your faith and it failed you, then you know that the relationship of God is more important than your religion about God. Because you find that God has always been with you. He's always been there. He's taken you through every situation and every care. And you get worn down eventually where you just suddenly settle into knowing. You settle into resting. You settle into the peace of God that passes all understanding that you can have every single day of your life. And you can have it every moment of your life if you take the time to be still and know He is God. God is here. God is here. He's in me. He's in you. He's sitting here unseen. He is present in all where we are at, whether by His angels whom He guards us with, or whether by His presence when He comes Himself, or by His Spirit that He gave as a deposit inside of us, or whether by the Father Himself sitting down and causing you to recognize Him as your daddy, as your intimate, personal Father. When you know that, by your devotionals and evotionals, and you spend that time, then life is just a blessing. And what's coming next is even more so a joy. You don't have to suffer in silence. You can rejoice in suffering. You don't have to be bummed out about what's going on in life or the world. You can be excited about everything that's occurring. You don't have to be out fighting battles and being mighty in the name of God. You can let God protect Himself just fine. Don't get distracted by the attractions that are in the world, but rather turn your world upside down by stopping and sitting down first with the Creator of the world so that He can show you what's really going on. If you really want to waste your time, you can. But if you want to redeem the time, for the days are evil, then you need to spend time with God Himself. Only you can do that. Just like you are helping me do it for my relationship with God. I hope you take the time to do it for you with your relationship with Jesus.